What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. We're going to start with a not so positive story. The Dolphins linebacker coach Ryan Crow was arrested today on domestic battery charges, and the team has placed him on administrative leave. They actually released a statement, so we'll start with that. It says, "We are aware of the serious matter involving Ryan Crow and currently gathering more information. Ryan has been placed on administrative leave effective immediately. We have been in communication with the NFL and will reserve further comment at this time." So I didn't bring this up because I want to be like salacious and TMZ like related. To me, this is actually an opportunity for the team to showcase what their standing is and where they are as an organization at this current moment. Anytime something happens involving NFLPA, involving the league office, involving suspensions, you always have the chance to just cut bait with usually a player. If a player does any kind of domestic situation, the team has a choice. Do we suspend them for 6 to 8 games, or do we just get rid of them and then try to move forward with the team, right? Most cases, like early on, teams would just give the suspension and try to play it off. Then the league did a big crackdown and said, "Hey, we're not doing this." And then you start seeing even solid players becoming released, teams moving on from it because it's just bad PR to have them around. This doesn't happen that often with coaches. And so this is a rare opportunity to see, hey, if as an organization we're about accountability, which everyone has said so far, Coach McDaniel all the way up to Chris Greer, about accountability, we're about being tough minded, we're about being unified, about being a good team, then our coaches need to embody what that is as well. You can't put a different rule for the coaches and then say the players need to do this. Because if any player was in this situation, I think even maybe outside of Tua, perhaps, I think they would be cut, right? And I know there's a Tyreek Hill contingent out there, but there's some smoke in that Tyreek Hill situation. But in general, this is worthy of being let go from the team. I don't believe any linebacker coach is important enough to a team to bring bad press to a team. I'm sure Ryan Crow is a great coach. He came from Tennessee. He's been with us for a couple of years. He's probably really good at his job. Our linebackers were solid last year, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt as a coach. But if you're a leader of men, then your actions off the field and on the field need to be congruent. You can't say, "Follow me, I'm going to lead you in the battle to do this and then off the field you have your own thing going on." I think this will most likely lead to him being fired. I think if there's a video, which I don't know if there is right now, there are plenty of eyewitness accounts, which I think is, you know, probably more than enough. You have police reports and eyewitness accounts. If there is a video of some sort and it's a damning video, those videos always get leaked at some point because somebody pays for it. If there's a video, then I think almost certainly he gets fired. He will most likely get fired either way because this is a bad look for the league. The league has been constantly trying to get away from domestic issues ever since Ray Rice. And anytime that there's even the hint of any of that, they kind of come in and lay the law down. I don't think this should mean that Ryan Crow should never coach again. I don't want his career. I don't want he has a family as well. But as a team, if we're trying to be what we're trying to be this year, then we can't have dissenting people. I've been really hard on Tyreek personally. I know a lot of you are big Tyreek fans. I like Tyreek as well, but because I know you have one sheep leaving the, I don't know what you call a flock of sheep. I guess flock. If you have one defecting, then more are more likely to do it. If Ryan Crow walks in the locker room, like, "Hey guys, sorry about that. Let's get back on the field." I mean, these guys have wives. These they have daughters. They have moms. This like it's not going to connect to the team. There'll be some people who look at him sideways and they undermine his authority. We've already had authority issues on the team. That's why a lot of the guys we traded in the offseason were traded. They didn't have good authority things going on. So they didn't respect coach, and coach is like, "Well, I can't have you here if you don't respect me." If the players don't respect the coach because the coach has shown himself not to be respectful off the field, then the coach cannot stay. We have plenty of defensive coaches. We can, you know, promote the assistant linebacker coach to the head linebacker coach. We can have the D line coach maybe have double duty. There are options here. I expect this by the time you see this episode that he may be off the team, but I don't believe he'll last more than the next 72 hours because it's just going to be bad press. The season is literally a week and a half away. You don't want to go into the year with this even being remotely a storyline. And so I do think that he will not make it on the team very long. And it's unfortunate for all parties involved, but we're not trying to make this into some spicy TMZ type thing. It's more about what is our team code and ethic, and if our team is about moving forward, they're about accountability, men leading men, then I don't think he can remain the coach on this team. Changing gears, let's talk about players. So Jabril Peppers was just cut by the Patriots, and he's now a free agent. I imagine a number of teams are looking at him. We need to go all the way back to him at Michigan. Jabril Peppers is basically a linebacker safety hybrid. In college, he was a great player. They loved him, but they were saying he's kind of a tweener in college. He's got to choose a role in the pros, and he kind of became a safety, but he plays in the box a lot. He moves around. We are really good at our free safety, strong safety. We're still trying to figure out is it going to be a Fitu, is it going to be Ashton, like who's going to be playing that position. I don't know if Jabril Peppers is better than either of them. I mean, Ashton's been injured, so maybe like just current iteration he might be. But y'all know I like versatility in players. I think Jabril could be a utility guy all over the field. I think he can be. He's not anywhere near as good as like a Kyle Hamilton type, but you can move him down in the box. He's a really good blitzer. He's a good tackler. He's a good physical hitter. He's not amazing in coverage, which is why I will probably have Minka play further back and then have him down the line. But if you have two safeties that have that level of, I don't know, I said free flowiness, but you can just line them up all over the field. I think it only makes the defense better. And the reason why I'm breaking this up is because he got cut so late in the year, right before the year, the Patriots are actually paying his salary this year. It's like a little bit over $4 million. So we don't have to pony up the money to have him. We could just pay him whatever the league kind of minimum is. He's already getting paid a little over $4 million from the Patriots. Hey, we'll give you 1 year, $2 million. That's like $6 million total for a year for a guy that just got cut at safety, making $6 million in a year. Pretty good. That's double what Rasul Douglas just got. So we don't have to offer him big money. And the fact that he's leaving the Patriots and coming ideally to the Dolphins, you get to play the team that cuts you 2 times. Let's just get into the psyche of a sperm player. When a team cuts you, there's something like, oh, y'all don't believe in me. All right, cool. I'm going to show y'all who I can be. Fantastic. Come down to Miami. And then when you go back to Foxborough and you get booed by the crowd because that's what's going to happen, and you make a game like ceiling pick on Drake May, or you lay out a receiver across the middle and you get a point to the back of that jersey. I'm just saying, we got to paint the picture. There are plenty of teams he can play for. I'm sure, he'll be picked up within the next 3 to 4 days. He'll obviously be on a roster before day one. But how many teams? I mean, the Jets are pretty good in the secondary. I don't think they'll go after him. And Buffalo actually could use him, but we don't want him going to Buffalo. Come down to Miami. We'll put you out on the field. And if you show yourself well, you can play a lot of positions, and then you get to beat your former team, and you get to be cocky about it, and you're already making your money. Do you want to live in Buffalo, New York? Yeah, cold, expensive, or Miami? I mean, come on. It's right there on the table. There's no reporting that the Dolphins are actually going after him. This happened earlier today, so maybe by tomorrow there will be some reporting on that. But we should definitely be making a phone call. And if he's asking for, crazy money, extensions, and all that kind of stuff, then, move on. But if he's down for a 1 year, prove it kind of situation, he's already making his money. I mean, we're right here. Why not come to Miami? Why not stick it to New England? We got him like week 2. We got him right there. Oh my God, it'd be so delicious. And how much of their offense and defense does he already know? Like he can be like an informant on the low and get his revenge. Best $2 million I've ever spent, and it's not my money to spend. So I'm just saying, I think it'll be nice. We will see if the Dolphins decide to pull the trigger. We've made a lot of moves in free agency and practice squad guys, so we don't seem to be fully set on the team. We keep making more moves. Why not? Reach out, see what he says, and maybe something will happen. We have spoken a lot about Darren Waller and what his impact could be on the team. And finally, he came out and talked about his own performance. And he said he feels rusty going into week 1. But rust doesn't mean maybe what you think it means. Rust is in terms of sharpness on how he sees the field. Not necessarily rust like my body doesn't feel good on the field. He said like he was getting used to getting contacted for the first time in a long time. So yeah, the physical aspect of blocking, being pushed up the line of scrimmage, that's one thing. But he meant like rusty in terms of how crisp his routes are, and then how quickly he picks up the ball in flight, the spin of the ball, where his hands need to be. That part of the game, which is something I talk about all the time. About the reason we need guys to be at practice is because you need to get the rhythm down with your quarterback, especially as a receiver. Jalen and Tyreek know Tua, so I don't mind them being out because they know him already. Get healthy, and then come back when the year starts. But Malik watched them getting so much burn, and Tua being like, "Yo, that guy's always open. He always like finds the ball." Like that's why he was raving about him. It's because he was extra sharp in the details. Darren Waller not playing football for a long time, over a year, is one thing, but he doesn't know how Tua plays football. You got to be out there and understand. Like, is Tua going to throw it? Let's say I'm running like a post, so I'm coming up and breaking inside. Is he going to throw it after my first step outside, my step before, my two steps before, or after I actually make my break? And then is the ball going to be early in the route, end of the route? Like, I need to know because if I do it wrong, if I'm expecting the ball, I turn my head and then the ball's like in front of me and I slow down, or you got to figure that part out because two is very precise if you know what you're doing. Like two is not the quarterback that holds the ball, sees a small window and it like bullets it in there. That's the Mahomes and Josh and those kind of. That's what those guys do. They'll hold the ball forever. It's like, oh, window. Tua is 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna throw it now, and then by 4, 5, 6, he should be running into the ball. Which is why Tyreek and Waddle get so many catches, and they're always kind of on the move when they catch the ball because the rhythm is so clean. But if Darren is turning his head late, if he's sloppy in his route running, and I don't remember him being like an elite route runner before. I remember him just from watching him as like an athlete that was playing football. And so he would kind of get open and box people out, which is part of what a tight end does. Like sometimes you just run up to a linebacker, kind of position your body in front of them, and just they can't go through you to get to the ball. That's sometimes part of the game. But I don't remember him being like this, tech, like technician, like 1, 2, 3, break, hand. Like I don't remember that being his game. So he may be having to learn what we need him to do in this offense. Which, if you've never played that way, it's almost like you've been a left-hander going to the left-hand finish. It's like, okay, now go with your right hand. And you're like, what? Mm. Like, can you learn it? Yes, but it's not the natural thing to do. Like, he seems like athleticism has been his name, his the game name of his game, and our team is based on precision. So him being normal rusty is one thing, but also not knowing how precise the offense is also the reason why when the first couple routes aren't open, the offense kind of like drops off because those guys aren't open and two is improvising or guys are running the routes, having to break off a route, do a second, third route. It gets a little dicey on offense because that's not how the team is built to run. It's 1, 2, 3, ball. If Darren Waller is slow and two is like, you should be open, I throw the ball, and then you don't make the break, and that safety is coming down when you should be breaking in front of the safety and you don't do your job, that's how picks happen. Or worse, you get your head knocked off. So we got we got 9 days to get not rusty. I do imagine again he'll be on some kind of a pitch count when he does play because if he thinks he's rusty now, I don't think in 9 days he's gonna be like, oh, I'm oiled up, or I'm good to go. I do think he'll be like, all right, I know a couple routes really well, a couple I know less well. So if they bring me on the field, let's run the things I know well. As we go along, I'll learn the things I don't know well. So maybe like his in breaking routes because it's like just a single stick outside and come inside is easy. But maybe him having to do like a smash route where you start inside, break, and then break back outside because it's basically two moves in one. That might be not sharp. I can make one step, break inside, breaking, cutting back. My feet ain't choppy enough. I'm slow. By the time I chop my feet and break inside, the linebacker cut me off and let's not run that route right now. Overtime, yeah, he'll get there. So I respect him for being honest about where he is at the moment. He didn't say injured. He said rusty. I'm okay with rusty. Not okay with injured. Just I don't want to hear about. Yeah, man, I'm trying to play, but my leg is hurting. What was that? Don't want to hear anything about injured. You can get unrusty by doing things. If he's injured, that changes the whole conversation. We're gonna drop back into the comments, and I saw today that the Dolphins over under for the wins was 7.5. So obviously, someone on Twitter, X, whatever, saw that as well. Is that how do you feel about the Dolphins over under being 7.5 this year? You think we'll go over or you think we'll go under? I think that number is insulting if they're assuming health. The Dolphins haven't won less than 7 games since what the year before Tua got drafted. Like it's not like that's not what our team is. We have been an 8-win team a number of times. We've been a 9-win team a couple times, even a 10-win team, but not a 7-win team. So there are a lot of people who are very bullish on the under for that, and I think that's crazy. Again, if you're assuming health, if you're assuming that people are going to get hurt, then yeah, of course go under. I don't. If you tell me Tua plays 12 games or less, then I might go under because that may be him being 7-5, and I could see us like not winning games without him. That 12 games or less, maybe. If you think Tua's playing a whole year, we're winning 7 games, then I don't think you've been watching the team. I just that seems like that's criminal. I think the Patriots over under is like 8.5, and I was like, what? Where'd the Patriots get all this extra money from? Me, the team that had the worst roster in the league last year. Yeah, Drake May might be better. I think Travion Henderson could be very good, but they got a lot of question marks, specifically on the offensive line. They don't have a ton of talent at wide receiver. Like I don't know what all this is. Mike Vrabel just worth 5 wins like that? That felt like a lot to me. So it tells me that people are a lot more bullish on the Patriots than the Dolphins, and I will flip those. Now the Dolphins over under was 8.5. That's to me is the right number because 9 wins, you're a playoff team. You're right there. 8 wins is like what happened last year. We were good when Tua played, not good when he didn't play. A game or two out of the playoff, it could have gone either way. That to me is where the Dolphins live. We're in that 8 to 10 wins. To me, is the window for the Dolphins. I don't see 7, and I don't really see 11. I see us right in that middle. So if 7.5 is a number, I'm inclined to bet the over. And I don't even mean that just on some fandom thing. I mean, show me the evidence why we wouldn't be at least an 8-win team. The schedule is not like the worst in the world, unless you think, because again, you got to factor in all the variables of betting and stuff. Unless you believe that New England is going to be a really good team this year and that they're going to beat us twice and that Buffalo's going to beat us twice and now we're 0-4 in those 2 games and then you split with the Jets and so you're 1-5 in the division. Unless you're factoring in numbers like that, and the Patriots, by the way, have not beaten the Dolphins in Tua's tenure. So why would I believe that all of a sudden they're going to beat us twice in the same year? That doesn't make any sense, right? That doesn't that doesn't add up to what New England and the Dolphins have been. So unless you think that they're that much better, I mean, if you thought Buffalo beats us twice in the same, okay, fine, that happens. We've beaten Buffalo once in the last 3 years, right? That's fine. And then the Jets don't really beat us either. So, and then the non-conference record, we got the Colts, we got the Browns. Like they're numbered. Yes, there's that stretch in the middle where it's the Commanders, Baltimore, and I think Buffalo, like back to back to back. That's tough. That's tough. But the Dolphins should be favored in 6 or 7 games, and then they're going to win games that they shouldn't be favored in. They might lose some that they are favored in, but I think 8 to 9 wins is more like the median, and I think 10 wins is if we're healthy and we win those games, like games against Pittsburgh late in the year, where it depends on how you feel about Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers by that time of the year could be more or less on the wash side, but the Steelers are always good defensively anyway. They're a tough team to get out of here, but they don't score a lot of points, and I don't love their receivers. I just don't. And Najee's gone, thank God. So I don't think they have like a really bona fide running game, and I don't think they have receivers that are like extra scary. DK Metcalf, I feel he's not a one trick pony. He's a good receiver. He's not as good as he was, and he wants to get down the field. So I feel like I would just more or less play some kind of shell over him, make him run those underneath routes, come up and hit him, try to get him frustrated. He's shown that he can pop off and go off the edge. Like those kind of matchups, I think we can feel good about. There are teams like, Tampa. That's a tough matchup because their offense is awesome, and I think Baker's good. There's those games where I feel like I don't like that matchup, but I told you I think 9-8, 10-7 is my record for the team. That's where I am. So I think 7.5. I would bet the over, um, and I do occasionally bet. So that's what I'm betting. I think the number's too low. I think this is insulting. I think teams are not teams. The league and people outside of the league who cover the league are unnecessarily down on the Dolphins because of the Tyreek stuff and you know the 1 year contracts and they didn't love our draft. But I think the team is actually better than they think we are. And when the season rolls around, we're gonna show them. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and the subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.